have vets who absolutely specialize in the senior dogs and their different conditions.
I just did a Google search on geriatric vets, and and there are 620,000 results.
Wow. There you go.
There you go. There
Yeah.
is such a thing. Who knew?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, I know when my dog was getting up there in age, he had what I would have said was a little doggy stroke, but it ended up being what's called vestibular disease. And I said he walked like a drunken sailor. His little head was tilted sideways, and he kind of walked sideways. And I actually thought he had had a stroke, but they said that's what it was. And I just ran across that from someone else describing a condition that their dog had, and they just said, oh, their vet really wasn't sure. But the way she described it, I figured, and I said, ask him if it could be that, because I'd never heard of it before until Jackson, until it happened to him. So things pop up that are new, and sometimes like you said, I'd never heard of it. I couldn't even know how to Google something like that unless you put my dog walks like a drunken sailor. I don't know.
Well, you know what? That's interesting. That's exactly what happened to Angel. It's called, the full name, I believe, is idiopathic vestibular disease.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
Yeah.
exactly what happened to Angel, and we thought the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
She had a stroke. And it's kind of like, the way it was described to me is that it's like vertigo in humans.
Mm.
And unfortunately, our dog had chronic ear problems. So with all the treatment and all the time and all the medication and everything we did for her, it was her inner ear. It's an inner ear thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it just wasn't getting any better. And most of the time it does. But in her case, it just didn't happen because of that pre-existing condition.
Yeah. Yeah, Jackson never got better either.
Really?
Yeah. No, and I think, it could be like a person having vertigo, which I do. I mean, it seems like it's gone, but then all of a sudden it just comes out of nowhere. So it could just be different levels of it in pets, I suppose. I don't know. But yeah, it was scary
I
because I
hadn't heard
did
of it
think,
either.
yeah, I did think that he had had a stroke, and but that was the thing that my vet knew, and I trusted my vet at the time, so I was glad that I had a vet that had been around and seen different things and knew.
Yes.
So what are some of the I guess different types of things that you recommend for older dogs, maybe different I don't know, products or something that you've had success with? I don't know, my dogs right now are not in their senior years anymore. Jackson and Rocco have both passed on. So what kind of things do you think are helpful for people to know about?
Well, there are quite a few. We haven't gotten them up on the site yet, but I do have a few solutions up there. And the one that probably made such a huge difference with our Angel, as she was so old then, and she was already arthritic, and then she got this disease. Our house, the floors in our house are all tile and wood. There's no carpet, and she hadn't had any problems for years. But getting older and weaker, it came to the fact that she couldn't stand up, she couldn't walk, she couldn't get up without slipping and falling down onto her belly, and that was heartbreaking.
Yeah.
So I tried all kinds of traction boots and socks, and thank goodness for Amazon's return policy, because none of them worked. I probably went through a dozen different types and brands, and she just wasn't having any of it. And I know a lot of people that have dogs that refuse to wear any kind of footwear. So then I found these stickers. They're called paw pads, and they're paw-shaped self-adhesive stickers, so that you stick them on the bottom of your dog's paws, And the underside of them that touches the floor has a rough surface that provides traction. And the thing that's great about them is your dog, and I've read this in other reviews, because of course we all read reviews before we try things. Your dog is not even aware that they're on their feet. So it's like magic. Suddenly she could get up and walk, and the confidence that you could see it. She knew, oh wow, what happened? Now I can get up, I can walk, she was even running.
Aw.
So and a lot of people have commented, thank you for this. I never even know these existed, and it's good to know. So that's one. And then supplements, we have a post up there on arthritis and natural remedies for dogs with anxiety. And one of them is music. And what was fun to learn about that, I had always heard that light classical was good for plants and music. So we always left that music on in our home when we left. But what I found out, that recent research has shown that there are 3 types of music that soothe anxious dogs naturally. Classical, soft rock, and reggae. But of the 3, the classical becomes background noise after 7 days. There's a term for it, and I can't remember what it is, but they just become so used to the classical that it doesn't help them anymore. So experts suggest that you mix it up between classical, soft rock, and reggae. Who knew?
Yeah, I never heard that either.
I know. There's a lot of research that has been done on the types of music and how it affects dogs. So that was kind of a fun discovery, and that's also, there's a bit about that on the site.
Yeah. Well,
and then, of course, supplements for joint pain, turmeric, fish oil. But, any of this, anything that your dog is going to ingest, of course, we strongly recommend that you check with your vet, even if it's an over-the-counter or so-called natural remedy. Your dog may have allergies, or whatever you give him may conflict with whatever medication he might be on.
Yeah. And I appreciate that you say that, because so many times you see people saying, oh, do this, without suggesting that they check with their vet. And I think it's always required to check with your vet before you give your pet anything like that. So I do appreciate that you say that. So we've got about 5 minutes or a little less than that. The interview goes by so quick. So would you just like to mention real quick some of the people that help you with the Good Old Doggie webpage that you're starting?
Sure. I've got, now my husband has a lot of marketing experience. He's our marketing consultant. He's also a dog whisperer. I'm a travel writer by trade, and wherever we go in the world, dogs just take to him. In fact, that's one of the ways in which he stole my heart. Was my dog at the time just fell in love with him. Love at first sight. And then there's Carol. She's a prolific writer and a published author. And she's been doing a lot of our posts for us. And this just started out as an offer of help, but she's so good. And she says the reason she's good at writing about older dogs is because she is one. She's got hip problems. She's got joint issues. She's got diminished eyesight. And the list goes on and on. She said if she were in her 30s, she couldn't have been as successful at doing this as she is now.
Oh, that's funny.
And so, yeah, that's it. And they're great. And the only other thing I'd like to say to you, Patty, is I found you because I lost my little fancy girl 2 days after we got her, rescued her. And a friend of mine sent a link to your Lost and Found Pets 941 page. And after all day walking the neighborhood, friends, neighbors helping, checking our yard over and over again, it was about 9 or 10 o'clock at night. And it was supposed to be 30 degrees that night. It was January. And I was almost giving up. And then I get a call. And this woman said, I can find your dog. Can I come over? So she came over. It was late. It was dark. She walked into the yard, into the darkness, and emerged a few minutes later with Fancy in her arms.
Oh.
I don't. I, I just cried, and I just want to take this opportunity to thank you for the good work that you and your team do in helping to heal the hearts of pet owners.
Oh, thank you. You're very welcome. I'm glad that, it's so scary when they're lost, especially the little ones and they're lost at night. And being that, she was new to your family and wasn't familiar, that makes it all the more scary because you don't know what they're going to do. So that was a good happy ending. Yeah.
It really was.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So
I just wanted to make sure. I'm sure everybody appreciates what you do, but I just wanted to make sure I do.
Oh, I do. Yeah. So why don't you just real quickly let everybody know how they can find your webpage and your Facebook page?
Okay, the website is goodoldoggie.com. It's spelled with an IE, although you can type in doggy with Y, and you'll get there. And we don't have a Facebook page, but we do have a very active Facebook group. So it's facebook.com/groups/good old doggie.
Mm-hmm. All right. Yeah, it's a fun thing to be a part of that group and see all the other dog pictures. I love it when you ask people to post the pictures of their dogs. Although my crew aren't seniors right now, I did post them because they're just so darn cute. I couldn't help it.
Well, other people are doing that too. They're asking permission. Am I disqualified? No, we love all dogs. So much
Yeah.
new dogs.
I know. Well, is there anything else you'd like to add before we say goodbye?
No, I think we've covered quite a bit.
All right.
Unless you can think of anything else you need to ask me.
I don't, but I just do want to repeat your webpage one more time, and I want to thank you, Lisa Fowler from Good Old Doggie, and that would be goodoldoggie.com, and you can go check out the website. It's just new, and their Facebook group is Good Old Doggie, and it is a group, not a page. I call them all pages, even though mine's a page and a group. I call it a page. So, anyways, I want to thank you again, Lisa, for being with me.
Thank you, Patty. Thanks so much.
You're welcome. So remember, everybody, that a lost pet can't tell anyone where it lives. So please be sure they are microchipped and wearing their ID tags. And if it is chipped, be sure the chip is registered and up to date. Thanks for joining us today. And until next time, take care and keep your pets safe.